Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. And today I'll be reading a Scaramouche listener by me. So let's get into it. Out of all the people that you liked, you had to like him. Really. You had crushes on many people as a kid, as a teenager. But now it just had to be him. And it was not a normal crush. You had heard about Hanahaki when you were younger. Keyword being heard. You had never seen anyone with Hanahaki, and honestly thought it was quite stupid. Love someone so much that you get sick and flowers start growing on your throat? Ha ha, how funny. No, you were the one who had Hanahaki. And it's not so funny now. It's painful. And it makes your heart ache. Not just because you have it, because you know you can never tell him. It's Scaramouche. There wasn't much that you could do to him to affect him so strongly. He would never love you. So why even try? Why bother? Only to get rejected. Perhaps your heart could even be broken into smaller instances than you thought. It was already broken now. Blood welling up, just as the blood that would always be in the flowers that you cupped up. You knew you didn't have much time, and being his assistant did not help much either. He humiliated you. He was mean to you. But you had also seen him in weakness. You had seen him when you were once weak and needing help, and he had saved you, and completely ignored it the other day, ignoring that it even happened. And that's when he knew, despite how cold and scary it tries to be, he still had that soft spot in his heart. He wasn't so heartless, not as much as he tries. He may be bad, he may have done evil, and may still be doing it. But to you, he was your savior. Someone who you could only watch. And someone who you possibly cannot even save. Or reach out to. You could only watch him from afar. He was severely hurt after an attack once, and he refused to take you with him. Because it would be too dangerous and you'd be just someone who would make him lag behind. But when he didn't come, as you had expected, you went there. Even though he had told you not to come, and he knew you'd probably be punished or yelled at by him. He didn't care, however. What mattered was his safety, and the fact that he could come out alive. But there he was, bleeding, near unconsciousness, and still telling you that he doesn't need any of your help. That's before you picked up in your arms, and slowly, he had quieted down, feeling the embrace of safety and warmth taking him, as you had tried to go back to the Fatui to get help. They treated him like an asset, like he wasn't even that important, and it hurts you more than anything, because he's done so much, he's doing so much, and he deserves a lot more. And you know that even you, with all your love, perhaps may not be able to give him that, especially not when he won't be able to accept it. You could only help with what you had, hoping that one day it will be enough. That's when his attitude towards you began to change, slowly but surely, and you began to fall more and more in love. But you knew that to get rid of these feelings, you had to if you didn't want to leave him. He'd lost so much, too much, in fact, and losing you would only destroy him further. So unless you really wanted him to be broken, just like you shouldn't be leaving. But you couldn't lose those feelings. You couldn't lose your love for him, and you had no idea what to do. And as you were seated on the roof, looking at the ground beneath you, how far it was, how you could so easily slip away, and how your life could be taken away from you at any second now. Not just because of Hanahaki, and perhaps he may not even care. You were lying to yourself and you knew it. But it was much easier than to think that he cares about you, that there's something between the two of you, and that it can never be more than that. Mayan, what are you doing here? He said, startling you, and that's when you felt your body tilt, going to slip forward. And in a split second, Scaramouche ran as fast as he could to hold your hand. He caught you, but you were too heavy. He was unable to lift you up, with the weight of the earth holding you down. Mayan, hold on to me! Don't let go at all! He screamed out. But as you tried to hold on to him, tried to get up, as he brought you back up further and further, his body leaning down, your hands caught the ledge, and Scaramouche fell in your place. As you climbed up where he was once supposed to be, you could only stare, horrified, feelings running through your mind a mile a second. But there was nothing you could do. You couldn't reach out. You couldn't pause time. You could only look as he fell further and further. And the impact, you couldn't even look at it. You were running down, and when you ran, a crowd gathered around him, and you could only hear people muttering whispers. And as you tried to go through the crowd to see him, blood pooled around him, eyes closed, and it looked like his bones were broken, misplaced, angled where they shouldn't be. The feelings that struck your heart were too powerful. Grief, anguish, all at once. You had lost the person that you loved most. You curled up around him, crying, flowers coming out of your mouth as you coughed over and over, and held him, begging him to come back, begging him to try one more time. You had killed him. He had saved you, but you were the reason he died. It was all an accident. He didn't mean to fall like this. Perhaps if he weren't such an idiot, then he would have been alive and well, even if he wouldn't be. Now, the two of you were absolute goners. Dottore and his lackeys came, clearing through the crowd, making the people stray further away. As he took Scaramouche, told you he'd fix him, and he'd see what he can do, and told you to get some funding from Pantalone. Of course, it was not because he cared that much. He just didn't want his most precious experiment to go to waste. And as you said, curled up on the ground, you had no idea whether he'd make it out alive, whether you would see him again, whether you'd be able to hear him one last time before you're gone too. You were hoping, praying with all you had, that he'd be okay. For once, you were glad that he was originally a puppet, not a human with a heart that he can lose.